It seems that the company's signal became a little bit like Icarus and it flew too close to the sun and it got burned. But my God, wasn't it spectacular? So they used a very interesting ad campaign in order to show to people just how invasive Facebook is in your day to day life. And it's interesting that most people are aware that Facebook is spying on them, and it's pretty much like spyware at this point. But people use it nonetheless. However, what I find absolutely fascinating is that people are absolutely fine with Facebook collecting their data. But if, let's say, a hacking group would break into Facebook and would steal that data, then people would freak out. It's almost like as long as it's working as intended, as long as it's institutionalized and it looks professional, most people don't care. The moment like some evil element gets a hold of their data, then they freak out. Why is that though? You know, like when you're on Facebook, you are the product. You do understand this. Like you're not the user, you are the product. They market you. Like they take your analytic. And your analytic by itself, like the fact that John likes boxing, no one cares about that. But when you take the analytics of millions of people, then it has value. That's like mining for information, and it's pretty much like solid gold in today's day and age. So look at these commercials that Signal did just to show how Facebook is targeting people. You got this ad because you're a newly wed Pilates instructor and you're cartoon crazy. This ad is used your location to see you're in La Jolla. You got this ad because you're a K-pop loving chemical engineer. This ad uses your location to see you're in Berlin and you have a new baby and just moved. And you're really feeling those pregnancy exercises lately. You got this ad because you're a teacher, but more importantly, you're Leo and single. This ad uses your location to see you're in Moscow. You like to support sketch comedy and this ad thinks you do drag. You got this ad because you're GP with a master's in art history and you're also divorced. This ad uses your location to see you're in London. Your online activity shows that you're getting into boxing and you're probably getting there on your new motorcycle. Man, it's freaky. Like, there was this story of a guy that was a middle-aged man and he kept getting advertisements for baby diapers. And he just didn't know why that is. Like everywhere he would go on Facebook, it was just baby diaper after baby diaper. And then he finds out a couple of months later that his daughter is pregnant. Like Facebook knew about it before he knew about it. And the way Facebook does this is that you are sharing this information to Facebook. Whenever you click like on a page, you give an information to Facebook. Like Facebook, let's say, would have a page that's dedicated to boxing. The algorithm knows that, and when you click like on that page, then Facebook knows you like boxing. It's really what the Cambridge Analytica scandal was all about. It's like people pressing like on various pages, and then Cambridge Analytica compiled that information from right-wingers in order to give it to Donald Trump and show like, here's what people are more interested in. Like if you structure your campaign based on these interests, you're going to reach more people. And the only reason people freaked out is because Donald Trump was doing it. Like if Joe Biden would have done the same thing, no one would have cared. Because it's not invasive, like it doesn't get into your private messages or anything. It's just information you unilaterally put online. So looking at this, Facebook cares about your status, like whether you're single, have a girlfriend, are in a relationship, are divorced, the type of hobbies that you like, the type, like whether you're a Leo or a Sagittarius seems to be interested, your location, like all of this information is used in order to target you with ads. And this is why a lot of businesses, because people say, well, just get off Facebook. This is why Australia had to kneel in front of Zuckerberg. Because small businesses actually need Facebook in order to function and to advertise. Without Facebook, like all these small businesses in your country would probably take a massive loss in revenue. They might recover afterwards, but for the immediate future, they're going to take a massive loss. And this is why countries are now dependent on Facebook. Before, it used to be businesses would advertise in a local newspaper. But as local newspapers started falling because of the competition, which the internet is, including websites like Facebook, everyone advertises on Facebook. Why? Because like if I have like let's say a small cafe, I don't benefit from advertising on television or anything like that. Probably I don't even have the money to do it. But what I can do is to go on a Facebook group from my town or from my neighborhood and advertise there, and it costs me very little. In fact, you can even use like some of these private groups, and you don't even have to pay a single penny in order to do it. And you also get reviews. Like you also get a website, right? You can create like your company website, and then you pay Facebook to push it up and all of that. So it's very interesting to see what's behind the curtain. Like this is a very, very interesting campaign by Signal, and the fact that Facebook banned it gave it even more awareness. Like I didn't even hear about Signal up until now. I'm not kidding. Like I've never heard about it, but because now it's in the news, like Gizmodo talks about it, everyone talks about it. The actual idea behind the ad campaign is pretty simple. Because Instagram and Facebook share the same ad platform, any data that gets hovered up while you're scrolling your Instagram or Facebook feeds gets fed into the same cesspool of data, which can be used to target you on either platform. See, I didn't even know about this. Across each of these platforms, you're also able to target people using a nearly infinite array of data points collected by Facebook herd of properties. That data includes basic details like your age or what city you might live in, granular points, whether you're looking for a new home, whether you're single, or whether you're really into energy drinks. This is actually true. Like recently I've been looking for furniture, and all of a sudden like I'm bombarded with ads about furniture. And I only click like one or two websites. Or I looked for some PlayStation accessories. Boom, like all of a sudden you're bombarded with these things. It's really shocking to see just how much these companies know about you. And it's not really that complex. Like they use very simple algorithms. Like, look, I was looking for a new TV and like, bam, all of a sudden I get like these adverts for TVs. It's kind of freaky. Like if you were to have a time machine, go back 20 or 30 years in the past and tell people that this is the future, they would be freaked out by it. They would think it's Orwell's nightmare. Based on this kind of minute data, Signal was able to create some super targeted ads that were branded with the exact targeting specs that Signal used. If an ad was targeted towards K-pop fads, the ad said so. If it was targeted towards a single person, the ad said so. And if the ad was targeted towards London-based divorcees with degrees in art history, the ad said so. Apparently, Facebook wasn't a big fan of this sort of transparency into the system. While the company hasn't responded yet, Gizmodo request for comment Signal's blog post explains that the ad account used to run these ads was shut down before many of these ads could reach the target audience. But it's not only that, like they also said the power of Facebook to influence elections. I believe it was a professor who said in a Senate hearing that if Facebook would only target Democrats and remind them to vote that day, they could do it and it wouldn't cost them a single dollar. So all the right-wingers wouldn't be reminded, but only the left-leaning people would be. And no one would be the wiser. Like, no one would know. Right? Like, how would you know? Like, would you even talk about, hey, yeah, you know, like Facebook told me to go vote. Like, it reminded me that today is voting day. And even then, like, even if you say that, you would assume everyone got the message. But, like, again, like, Facebook could literally target the correct people with that. It's scary, but it is what it is. And as I said, because Facebook has it and people give it willingly, no one cares. But if Facebook would be hacked tomorrow, everyone would freak out. Reminds me of that Black Mirror episode where a disgruntled guy manages to take hostage a person that's a higher up at one of these social media companies. And obviously the cops try to catch him. But what ends up happening is that the cops didn't know anything about that guy. But because the guy took someone from social media hostage, the social media company got involved and they were collaborating with the cops and they were talking with the cops. And they knew so much about that guy. Like they had all of his life mapped out. Like they knew the motive. They knew exactly why he's doing it. They knew his psyche. They knew how to talk with him. And it was just crazy, right? But makes you think like how much data is being collected from you, not just by Facebook, but by web browsing and the phones that you're using, like how much that data gets sent to Apple and whatnot. How much do they know about you? And of course, you know, like they probably don't know anything about Bob. But if they wanted to know about Bob, like if it was company policy to know about Bob, because let's say Bob runs for an election or something, they'll probably know pretty much. You know, that's what we do when we share our information online, like it's a commodity. Yeah, back in the day, people were pissed off that Xbox was online only and it would have a camera that would record signals that they would then give to their developers. Nowadays, I don't think many people would be pissed off because that would be considered standard practice, wouldn't it? Let me know what you guys think and I'll see you in the next video.